Hey, everybody.
Diggity dog.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Starfall Collective. You're probably joining us in the past, statistically speaking. So, welcome from the present. We are looking forward to playing some D&D with you tonight. As always, I am joined as always by Matthew Q. Talamini, where the Q is silent, imaginary, Schrodinger-esque. Matt, how can people get a hold of you on social media?
Well, probably not social media, but you can find my various fiction writings at MatthewTalamini.com. That's TALAMINI.com.
And in the top middle, I believe you'll see the same thing as me, Mr. Sir Robert Burbridge. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Sir Robert Burbridge, and
Bottom right.
apparently I'm the bottom right today. And you can let's pretend you can go see things at thefarce.net.
Sir Robert, you're the only one who knows what order the screens are actually in.
Actually, I know because I'm looking at the stream.
Oh, okay.
Robert's in the bottom right.
Okay.
And in the top center, we have Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dwight.
I'm Dwight. I'm in the top right.
He's the one with the very round face that has a D in the middle.
I'm the moon-shaped kid in the top right.
He's the one who's constantly sideways licking the screen.
Moon-faced. I'm smiling, though, or grimacing. Depends on which side my eyes are on.
Can we play Dungeons and Dragons?
Probably not. Probably not for some time,
actually. Is that going
actually.
to happen?
Anyway, this is the Starfall Collective. We're going to be playing some D&D 5th edition. And when last we played, gentlemen, many delightful and surprising things happened. But if anybody would like to mention just one thing that they found delightful or surprising, some sort of standout moment, feel free to share that now.
Are you asking?
I almost died.
When you ask this, are you asking for something that we found delightful or that our characters found delightful?
I'm going to leave that up to your discretion. If you believe that your character had a more immediate experience of the night than you, I'll allow you to mediate your own consciousness through that persona.
Fair enough.
Well, I almost died.
I'd call that a highlight. It was exciting.
It was. Get the blood pumping.
Either surprising or delightful. Maybe
I've seen him do it before. He almost dies, sometimes twice before breakfast. It's not a big deal.
Some people at the tea house we were in left a basically pristine bottle of extremely expensive wine. Unfortunately, nobody knows what happened to it.
That is a bummer.
I really like the bugbear situation. That was fun.
That was a good situation.
We need more bugbear content.
More bugbear content. Yeah, I agree.
I get the picture of a more cowbell type of deal going on.
Yeah. Hey, I don't always play D&D, but when I do, I make gold records.
Deal.
Deal.
Sorry. I can't normally see Josh, and he just flashes on my screen every once in a while, and I just caught a glimpse of your outfit for the first time today. I love it, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'm really proud of this jacket.
It's beautiful.
So, as you can see...
Is that a Sasquatch?
That's a Sasquatch.
See it at the moment.
And that is a hand-sewn patch from Nepal of an owl.
Nice.
2 mythological creatures.
You can't convince anybody of anything.
Zach really enjoyed leveling up at the end of that fight.
That's a little off-screen
Can that
business.
be a segue?
Certainly, yeah, absolutely.
Because I leveled up my character, like you said, but I didn't get my extra D8 of hit points yet, and you had a deal with us where we could You would roll and we would roll, right?
That's true, and I'm ready when you are. I've got my finger hovering
D8
over
ready?
the virtual die rolling button.
Hey,
Okay,
Matt, show
here-
everybody your D100.
Oh yeah, here. This is my new D100.
That's a
It's
jawbreaker.
beautiful.
Dwight, please, you're embarrassing us. Only noobs get excited about D100s. That's actually pretty cool.
I was telling Matt that I have not homemade. I have balls that were
Wow.
made to be spheres that were less spherical than that die.
Dwight loves attacking the property and by proxy the character of the owner of that property. He used to tell me that my knives were so dull that if I stabbed people with them, I would heal them. So,
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
It's true.
I'm gonna roll a D8, and Josh is gonna roll a D8. Right?
What'd you get?
A 2. What'd you get, Josh?
5.
Nice.
And
So I'll
Mr.
add 5 hit points.
Yeah,
Better than
I need to
average.
roll 2, don't I?
Yes, you do, sir. I think you already rolled and added it, but I can roll as well. I just didn't do it yet because I don't know if you're an 8 or a 10.
Too.
Okay. Are you a D8 or a D10?
Oh, I'm a D10. Okay.
Okie dokie. Yeah, if you're a primary fighter class, you should be a 10. Only a
Okay.
I'm a
barbarian.
D8.
I'm ready.
I'm a D8.
I'm rolling.
I'm rolling.
I got a 3.
I got a 6, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
So, quick
DM
question.
helping us all out here.
Yes. What's your question?
We ended the previous session right at the defeat of the big bad guy crocodile men things.
3 of them. 3
Yep.
crocodiles.
And are we picking up something like back at the ranch after a long rest, or are we picking up right where
Well,
we left off?
Josh
or
will
what?
narrate that.
In media race. Yep.
Great.
Take it away, Josh.
So one note to you guys and to the audience listening. This world is going to be very sandboxy. I'm not going to be the conductor who grabs you by the collar and throws you on the train and drags you forward. I would love for you guys to feel free to explore the conflicts, shadows of conflicts, all that kind of stuff. Hang on one sec. So feel free to explore the world, but we're going to pick up in media race. So you guys, Tashash, you have a broken leg, several very, very, very large puncture wounds that are dripping with blood. And how many hit points do you have right now?
Well, I
One.
just leveled up. So
Well,
that helped.
let's pretend that you haven't leveled up just yet.
So I'm at I would be at 2.
Okay,
Thanks to that.
very good. Thanks
Yep.
to Thak, who
Really kept you alive.
told him
Valiantly
It's
kept
gonna
me
be all
from-
right, yeah.
Probably gonna have some weird dreams as a result, but that's fine.
There's still a small, semi-translucent gold, bronze little cup trophy thing circling just above the head of Harcourt Fenton Mudd, and it has the word "finisher" written across it in very large letters. He managed to deliver the killing blow twice tonight.
You should grab that.
And throughout the midst of it, the person kind of in the middle of the combat, trying to draw as much attention to himself as possible, was... Does anybody know who is the primary tank of the fight?
Dwight? I mean,
Probably Mela.
Probably Mela.
Broken
Okay.
heel.
Dwight, I was giving you an incredibly subtle cue to
Hi.
say anything at all.
I was trying to take some hits for you, and I took some hits. I got hit a couple times. I'm bad at math though. 54 minus 38 is like 10 plus 2 and 4, 16. 16 hit points of
Sure.
damage.
You know,
You
I do
should,
math that way too, and people look at me like I have 2 heads when I tell them that. What were you saying?
You should bring up dndbeyond.com and keep track of it on the sheet there.
That's
Heck
what
yeah.
I did. That's
So
how
especially-
I
Special
figured it
thanks
out.
to D&D Beyond for having a really very, very good web interface. I'm very pleased with it. And Jitsi for being the virtual table upon which we were playing tonight. So a man, well, not a man, a lizard man, wearing a leather kind of shawl wrap thing that's got a lot of tassels and teeth tied into it and beads that are in shapes and stuff. If anybody would like to make a knowledge local or a knowledge history check, when you slap eyes on this guy, feel free to do so.
Intelligence?
It's an intelligence-based check. Yep, knowledges.
There's no knowledge check.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm sorry.
History.
Sorry, folks. One of the things that will happen with maddening frequency for those of you who know 3.5 and 5 well and are trying to let go of 3.5 is I keep falling back into 3.5 land. So that would be tell you what, you, Thak, have bardic knowledge, right? Do you have the ability to do any kind of bardic lore check or anything like that?
Mella rolled a 12
Okay.
in history.
Okay. Anybody else making?
I'm actually searching for a D20 right now, but
Sure.
Ooh, what about religion? Is he religious at all?
Yeah,
I rolled an
you can do
18.
a religion check. That would be
Okay.
fair.
we're talking, but you're talking about a history check, right?
I'll allow you to roll either history or religion. Your choice.
I rolled a 18 on history.
History. Very good. Okay.
Okay, well, those are both +1 for me, so let's say 13.
Okay.
My
Excellent.
religion check was 21.
I would
21.
assume
Okay.
if this is lizard culture related, I'd assume I probably know it.
Yeah. Everybody else is rolling to know these things.
also-
You know them already.
I think I might be unconscious. So
No, if you've got 2
No,
hit
yeah.
points, you're not unconscious.
okay.
So that's
You're
why
I
just
thought I
like-
collapsed at the end of the last
Yeah,
thing.
you're just
so
punch
I'm-
drunk.
I
So-
think you
yeah.
went down to 0, right? And then that
I
brought you back up.
yeah.
Yeah. So there is another lizard folk wearing leather armor who had a spear who clambered up out of the mud onto his feet and picked you up, Tashash, and has an arm underneath, has a shoulder underneath your arm, and is currently hoisting you up onto the top of the palisade, trying to keep you from getting poked and jabbed by the stakes sticking out. And you are grasped by the forearm of a lizard folk who is standing on top of the rampart and is picking you up. And he's the guy who greeted you when you first burst through the gate at the top of the stairs on the north side of Fujidome. And you see he's wearing these this leather shawl that's got beads and teeth and all this kind of stuff. And Mela, you got a 21 religion check, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know that this man is a warden, and you know that part of the gig with being a warden is that you have a certain number of rituals that are available to you. They're not really casters per se, but they are ritual magic workers. And you know that he is basically the guy who is the equivalent of the pastor or bishop of this small group of people here. And Harcourt, you got a 21 history check. Is that correct?
18.
18. Okay, sorry, I got this. So you know that this man's shawl tells a story, that his beads on his on his garment actually have symbolic meaning, and the order of them tells a story. So this man, so Dave, you're going to do a little bit of co-DMing with me here, right? You're gonna say his name out loud the very first time.
Ah, yes, the name.
Yeah. So this guy picks you up, pulls you onto your feet, looks you in the eye, and says,
Thank you, kinsman, for coming and answering our call. We had great need of you. But forgive me, I have not introduced myself. I am warden of this camp. I am...
And his name is Taer Koar Eseda Tuer Re O Te Paraok.
But you may call me Eseda. Please, come find comfort and nourishment and healing at our fire.
and he pops
healing.
down and helps you down and walks with you over to the edge of the fire. And you see Atlas runs over to you, and she whips out a medical kit.
Thank you. Yes.
Be still. You have done enough for now.
She kind of swats your hands away as you're trying to mess with the wound and whatnot and says,
Lie still, be at ease, kinsman. We are safe because of you and your friends.
and Atlas turns and bows deeply to all the rest of you guys. I assume everybody else kind of follows over to the fire, or what is everybody doing? Is anybody sticking behind and messing around with these crocodile bodies, or what?
Mm.
If they get down off of the fence wall thing, then I'll get down too.
Okay.
I'll follow them to the campfire.
Are the crocodile things wearing anything?
No, they do not appear to be sentient crocodiles. They appear to be crocodiles that are of the size, shape, morphology of crocodiles that live in the wetlands, with the exception that these are a sickly white with large black, kind of bulbous, jiggly.
Yeah, those things will hurt you too.
Yeah, oozing
Pustules.
growths, tumors, pustules,
Okay.
and a couple of times when Mela attacked one and burst it, Mela, what happened?
It hurt. It hurt me.
He retched.
Yeah.
You
Oh
retched.
yeah. That's what it was. It stopped my attack strings. I was trying to get all the mad combos.
He broke your Paul combo. What's that?
Yeah.
If they're not wearing anything, then Harcourt doesn't care.
Okay.
Can I get a pair of boots with pustules on the toes?
They can be your nasty kick'ems. Oh, that's so horrible. No, you may not have nasty boots. Oh man, but I like the hustle. That's a good.
Jack has leatherworking skill. Although you guys wouldn't know that.
I'll let the two of you sort that out.
I can make a pair of shoe trees with my woodworking skills.
Anyway, so you see Atlas with a needle and thread sewing closed some of the larger puncture marks in Tashasha's leg. You see that first she has washed them out and everything, and she is tending to him with really incredible dexterity and care.
Mela would move
I have a
over
question.
Sure.
Oh,
towards.
narrate Mela first, though.
All right.
Yeah, Mela looks towards if there's anyone who might be willing to heal him. He's like, oh, hey, get in on this healing.
The warden looks. The warden
Yeah.
looks at you. Esse. He's not a Latino.
Yes,
Essida. Essida. You kind of awkwardly stand there, going, "Hey." Kind of also got the ever-loving snot beat out of me too. Do you say anything to him, or do you just kind of stand there and look hurt?
I try to use my, my charisma. Just hey, how's it going?
All right, with great stoicism, Mela. You're standing there. By the way, tell me one more time, what does your outfit look like that you walk around, that you've been walking around in through the city?
It's like monk robes, kind of across east-west, sort of. Not too one or the other.
Nice. Have fun with that, animators. Essida comes over to you and says,
Please, friend, you will all be healed in time. Come have a seat next to your friend. Are any of the rest of you injured in battle?
and he looks at you, Harcourt, and to you, Thack. Harcourt, did you get hurt at all?
No, but the jailers were slightly rough, and I got a little electrocuted picking something.
Oh yeah.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at you and says,
It will not matter. Please, come, sit. The land here is powerful.
They have electrocution cream.
Thack.
Josh, is this what would be called a short rest? And
You're
we'll be able to
We'll
roll
get to that in
our.
a few seconds. Good instinct. We'll cover that. So Essida turns to look at all of you and says, I believe you are in need of deeper strength. Clearly, the road before you will be a. Sorry, I slipped into Asian.
Clearly, you are all in need of deeper strength. I will remove some stones from the bottom of your well that you may draw more deeply.
And he motions to all of you to kind of sit together. And he plants his staff into the ground, and you see him begin to chant, and he kind of lifts his head up, and you feel that magical energy in the ground around you kind of rise up. It's almost the equivalent of sitting on a floor of a pool, and the pool is beginning to fill up, and you feel it kind of get up to your neck. You feel that you are now kind of sitting in a well of mana, energy, arcane power, something. And not only do you heal your hit points, but Tashash, you recall several of the lessons that you had face to face with your mentor and friend, whose name I almost had up at a speed that would have looked like I remembered it. Ate, yes. And you, Thak, you, as you are sitting there, the words of the song that the minstrel at the Last Blossom Tea House begin pouring over your mind, and the melodies kind of unlock, and you kind of understand this whole other way of doing music and art and everything, and it unhooks something inside of you on an arcane level as well, and you feel yourself deepening one more level as a bard. Tashash, you are one more level as a ranger. So at the end of this ritual, you are not only fully healed of all of your hit points, but you have, the two of you at least, have leveled.
Is this a short rest?
Consider it a long rest. Consider that you've had your slate magically wiped on a deep, deep level, and you find yourselves all profoundly refreshed.
Sweet.
It's not every day you get the opportunity to in-game level your characters up, so let's just do this right and hit the hard reset.
Can I use my Cunning Artisan skill during this?
If you get it at level 3, you can use it, baby.
It's the lizard. It's their racial. It's a racial skill.
Oh, Cunning Artisan, you want to do some leather work or some tinkering work? Or you want to build something? All right. So at the end of this ritual, you are all profoundly refreshed. Hey, Johanna. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not. Okay, there. Okay. She's not a minor. I hope you don't mind that I invoked your wife's name on the internet. Okay. You're still muted. It looks like you're really good at charades.
Yeah, I knew. I had it muted. I was just showing you that I had it muted.
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that consideration. So you are all offered places to sleep. It's not rainy outside. It's not cold. It's a very pleasant day. And it's only about maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So if you are actually, it probably is a little bit later than that. This actually probably is getting close to nightfall. So you are offered places overnight in the camp. I take it you guys avail yourselves of the hospitality of these folks.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to talk to Mela.
Sure, absolutely.
If we have some free time, especially if there's a chance of getting him apart from the others.
Yeah. So you guys are all invited over to a fire where there are multiple spits that have small animals roasting on them. And there is some sort of very thick, chunky stew. Anybody who wants to make a constitution check can see if you can wolf down lizard folk stew.
Harcourt wants to make a check.
Harcourt has a few things to take care of.
Tashash, do not need to make that check. Does anybody think that they should be the first to go with their little side stuff because they're going to be like just itching to do it right away?
I rolled a 2 for the stew. I thought you might enjoy that.
We could roll initiative for the side stuff, just as a way of picking who goes first.
I'd like to talk to Zeta at some point.
Okay, so Mela, you a small lizard folk child, a little girl, comes up to you and smiles at you and hands you a bowl of this stew. And you see a discernible portion of a lip of a ungulate, and you see a chunk of a tongue, and you see some weird little frilly gill-looking shaped piece of flesh, and you're just like, wow.
It's like street meat.
Wow. Okay, so you go to take a bite of it, and you remember how you vomited 2 times just like maybe an hour ago? Yeah, that same, like your GI system is just completely wrecked, and you just can't hold your cookies down, and you turn and you throw up, and the little girl runs away crying, just totally devastated that her contribution has harmed you in this way.
I'm glad you didn't say the little girl scarfs it up.
Yeah, no, the little girl doesn't. Well, hang on, that's awesome. Thank you, Sir Robert. I guess I do need to make a check to make sure that she doesn't roll a 1.
I mean, a lizard folk returns to its vomit.
Am I around here? Do I see this?
You do see this.
Let me roll a medicine check to see if I know any remedy that might help him.
Sure.
9. So probably not.
Yeah, you're like, man, you should like take something for your stomach. It would help. Harcourt.
Yep.
What's up?
Yeah, we've got some free time, and Harcourt is feeling nice and rested, and he has, he doesn't take any of the stew. He rifles around in his very deep jacket for a while and pulls out tasty morsels of fine cheeses and sausages, which are really just old stuff he had in his jacket that he keeps snacks, but they are, he uses prestidigitation to make them nice and tasty.
Nice.
It's kind of a thing he always does.
A pig walks up to you, and you feel a really, really strong, firm, but not violent, just a very large, very hefty object just bumped into you and knocked you. You turn and you look and you see a pig. It is black, it is bristly, and it is hungrily snorting and sniffling at your food.
Cool. Take a piece of it, make it into something that I think must probably be very tasty to a pig, and flick it away. Like, go get it.
He kind of looks over at the food and looks back at you, and make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, remind me how saving throws work. Okay, just dex saving throw. Got it. Yep. All right. 22.
Okay, you snatch this food out away from him, and he kind of gives kind of a frustrated huff, shakes his jowls a little bit, and then trots over to the food that you threw away.
So that said,
yes.
I have some items that if there's a little bit of privacy, I would like to try to identify. And then when other people are sleeping, Harcourt's interested in looking for some black market connections to lighten his load a little. He's not super strong.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The items in particular are a jewel-encrusted silver dagger.
Okay. Cast. So
I have identify that I'm using as a ritual.
Okay. Can you read the description of identify for me real quick?
Yeah. Choose an object you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it's a magic item or some other magic-imbued object, you learn its properties, how to use them, and whether or not it requires attunement, plus how many charges, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item, what they are, and if it was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And then you can also do it with a creature to see what's affecting the creature. This actually doesn't say, but my recollection, maybe this is from an older version, was that you learn things like its value. But maybe that's not, I don't know how that...
No.
Typically in the past, identify meant, the value of the thing. Now identify as a spell gets on a much deeper level. But what were you saying, Matt?
Cool. In 5th edition, you normally identify things just by spending a certain amount of time with them during like a short rest type period. And that tells you their magical properties. The utility of this spell is in doing it instantly. You don't have to spend the time, is what this spell gets you.
Okay.
And it doesn't mention anything about the value. I think the idea is that the value of things is generally known, and it's not really a subject that the rules legislate a whole lot.
Okay. And then quick question is how much, I don't mind it doesn't matter to me either way, but how much are we going to work about like consuming spell casting materials? Is that something I should start tracking and buying when I go out and stuff?
I have never found that to be a rich part of the experience of Dungeons and Dragons to track spellcasting components. I'm going to trust that there are moments where you folks like relieve yourselves off screen and we don't have to talk about how you use the bathroom. We don't have to talk about how you get spell components.
Sort of spell
Except
it
for
is.
if it's stuff that costs a whole lot of money.
Yeah, if it's like
Like
a
if you get a
diamond that you have to crush to do a spell, the big
Okay.
stuff, yes. But if it's little things like a bunch of herbs and sage and stuff, like you guys are all of a sufficient level that you've got a little bit of pocket money and you've got the ability, like you know how to like
Cool.
go about your day-to-day business and keep your pocket stuffed with the stuff you need to do.
Okay.
To what you
Well,
do.
I the dagger's the only one I really care about doing that with. The other things I only care about
Okay.
the value, except the thing that Tig sent me with a small package has a magical seal on it,
Mhm.
and I was unable to deliver it. I don't know where to find that guy. Everybody's gone. He left in the middle of our conversation. So
Okay.
I'd be interested in just seeing what it is.
Yeah.
The spell costs a pearl worth 100 gold pieces. So that's a pricey thing. So
Yeah, that's a thing to keep track of then. So you know what? I'm going to say that you, like in light of Matt's conversation, but you're doing it ritualistically, it would still cost a pearl that costs 100 gold. Do you want to do that?
no, I'm happy to go see if I can get it assessed on the black market. The bottle of wine, the dagger, anything else.
Okay.
And, whatever.
Then, okay, so you take all that stuff out, you look over it, you think to yourself what you want to do, and you decide, excuse me, let me drink some water real quick.
So while he's doing that, anything fancy or nice, Josh? Like if the dagger has any, bonuses or anything that makes it better than my dagger, I would want to keep it. If it's just valuable, I'd probably sell it. You know what I mean?
Excuse me.
Are
It is
we
a
at nighttime yet?
He said it was like evening or dusk or something.
yeah. So we'll tell you what. We'll come back. So Robert, we'll come back to you.
That works.
Matt, tell me, what is Thack up to?
Well, if we're all sort of around the campfire, like if I were to see Harcourt heading back towards town, I would probably try and go with him, unless he snuck away or something like that. But I do want to see if I can talk to Mela.
Okay. Tashash, what are you going to be up to tonight?
I'll probably go try to talk to Aseda.
Okay. All right. Tell you what. Give me a second to percolate on the Aseda conversation. So let me do the whole Mela Thack conversation and give me a few minutes to be rolling that around the back of my head. Okay. Mela, you are
In a trance.
in a trance, like by default. When nothing else is going on, you're pretty quick to kind of step aside and go into it. How far away do you walk to go into your trance state? Do you find just the edge of the camp? Do you walk
Nope.
away from it?
I'm right there. I just trance.
You're sitting around the fire with everyone else. Just
I need my 4 hours of trance a day.
okay. Well, you guys are all fully rested, so all this is gravy. You guys feel like you'll be able to sleep and sleep deeply, but you're good. Go ahead. Thack walks up to Mela with his eyes closed and says,
Oh, I give him a push on the shoulder. Elf. I say, Elf, you like stand up or react in some way?
Hello.
I say,
Sorry, it takes me a second to come out of my trance.
like, Elf, you awake?
I am now.
I say, I want to talk to you about. Hold on.
You okay?
Oh,
You should take something for that. There you
something's
go.
wrong with my voice. I sounded like a human.
You are
you
half
caught a
human.
fey wild. You
Okay.
caught a fey cold.
Much better now. Elf, you got this piece of paper. I want to talk to you about that. It's
I
like
don't remember the paper.
piece of paper with like a seal on it, like some courthouse. It
Yes.
says something about how I've got to do what you say.
Well, if you do things like you were doing before, those concerts and the public disturbance, then I get in trouble, and my monastery gets in trouble. So I have reason to try to keep you from doing those sorts of things.
Well,
Public
I'm going
nuisance.
to go do more of that. I don't know about public nuisance, but there's going to be more concerts. Like tonight.
In the town?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then we need to wrestle.
You want to wrestle?
He just says this to you matter-of-factly. Like, this is what you do among monks.
Yeah.
I take my sword or put my guitar to the side. I unhook my sword belt, and I put that to the side and say, and I've got my leather jacket. I'm like, I take this off too?
You can keep that on.
And I get into wrestling stance.
Just then, a large wooden staff whack comes down on the ground between the two of you, and you see Aseda walk up and say,
I am proud of my work and have brought you both back to a state of wholeness. See that you do not do any lasting injury to one another, please.
Okay.
Be my guest. There's an excellent field right over there. If you do it here, you'll probably trip over the fire lines.
Don't want to do that.
he points you over to a meadow about 40-foot radius, about 30 feet that way.
Let's go.
All right. Let's see. On our way over there, I'm going to be like sort of humming to myself or like and that's
So when Thax takes off his leather jacket, what's he wearing underneath? Is it like
I don't take it off.
Oh, you don't take it off. Okay. All right.
You let me keep it on.
Okay.
But
I'm picturing Andrew Dice Clay.
but I give myself bardic inspiration on the way over. Gonna kill an elf.
You know, sometimes I inspire myself. All right, you're ready to go. So, gentlemen, roll me initiative.
Is that a 20?
Yeah, that's a D20, and then add your
What's your
dexterity.
initiative says. My initiative is 4.
4. Okay.
My initiative is 2 plus 5, so 7.
7. Okay. So the two of you
get off to a poor start.
The two of you kind of square off against each other and kind of like Mela, you jump in there and you make the first move. What do you do? How are you going to attack this guy? Or do you attack this guy? Do you hold your action? What do you do?
I believe that Mela would
What thou doest, do quickly.
What thou doest, do quickly. Mela would he would just go straight in and grapple Thack.
Okay. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, you've given me a real gift. Just jumping straight to the deep end of combat.
It's probably going to be a contested strength.
Well, yeah. So if you want to grab a creature, wrestle it, you can use your attack action to make a special melee attack, and you've got to successfully hit him first if you want to start this grapple. So Dwight, make me
is that an unarmed strike?
Yeah. So Mela's going to make an unarmed attack.
Okay. That is 8 plus 8, 16.
That hits.
Okay. So now that you've succeeded, he is grappled with you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So now you guys are in a grapple.
Uh-huh.
Matt, what do you want to? What does Thack do?
Well, Thack is restrained, and I think so. The only thing that he can do is
You're not restrained. You are grappled, and that is a different thing than restrained. So when you are grappled, your speed is 0, and that's it.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to make an unarmed strike, just a regular one, like
You can do that.
with like an elbow or kick him, try and like kick him in the knee or, headbutt him from behind or whatever I can do.
If Harcourt hasn't left yet, he wants to go over and just kind of watch from the edge of the little arena.
Okay.
And in particular, flick little bits of food at him.
Sounds good.
Just for
Yeah,
his
the
amusement.
little lizard folk girl walks up next to you and breaks off a piece of the bread and also throws it at them.
And Harcourt leans over and says, "Ha, nice." Looks
She
up at
laughs.
her.
She thinks that you are hilarious, and she laughs.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and like elbow him real hard or headbutt or like whatever kind of unarmed strike that I can do.
Okay.
And that is a natural 20.
That hits.
25.
Okay. So
I'm
do
not pulling
you-
my punches either, so that does 4 damage. Yeah.
Well, so on a hit, an unarmed strike does bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier.
Yep, so 4.
Okay, cool.
But do I get to? I mean, I guess I would only get. Yeah, never mind. Because if it was the natural 20 would let me double the dice that I was rolling, but the dice that I'm rolling is just like the number 1. So
Well, you don't even get a die. You get 1 plus your strength modifier
Right.
unless you're proficient in unarmed attacks.
no, I'm not. So it's just 4.
Yeah.
4
Excuse me.
damage from a vicious elbow to his side.
Ah!
And that's one of the things that differentiates monks from everybody else is they're able to use their hands and feet as weapons, and they've got a
Right.
damage die type and all that.
But
good
I'm
stuff.
not.
You ain't.
I can't.
Okay, so is it my turn?
It is your turn. What you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to.
And
My-
Mela, did you keep track of that 4
Yeah,
non-lethal damage? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will unarmed strike back since he's going to be a jerk and not just grapple. I guess this is a boxing match now.
Okay. Now,
MMA.
what kind of attack are you gonna do on him?
Unarmed strike.
Okay.
Oh, unarmed. Yeah.
But he has to sort of ungrapple me in order to hit me.
Nope. You can both. This is hockey. You
Okay.
each have a hand on the other's jersey.
Yeah.
You've both got
I
a
think you have
grip
to
lock on each other.
disengage to
And you've
then
got
be
a
able to
free
move.
hand, so you guys can stand there and hold each other and punch each other. So right now, you each have a hand grabbing actually,
I'm
Dwight,
not
are you-
grabbing him.
Yeah, he's not grabbing me. I'm only grabbing. He's got to grapple me if he wants to.
So you've got a hold of him, and he is
Yeah.
grappled. Sure.
So I'm going to do action. So unarmed strike, and then as a bonus action, I'm going to spend a key point and do flurry of blows. So I'm going to do 4 unarmed strikes.
You're popping off an ability on this poor unarmed musician. Go
Yeah,
for it.
he
Let's
elbowed
see-
me
let's see.
right in the solar plexus, and I
Hey.
did not like
Hey,
that.
this
I'm
guy
really
grabbed
good.
the bull. He's got to deal with the horns.
Are you using
got
your
him. I'm
hands
good.
or feet, Dwight?
I'm four quick punches aimed straight at his tusks.
So you punched him in the face.
Punched him in the tusks. And
So
I'm
you've
rolling
gotta-
4 20s here.
Oh my
Here we
word!
go.
Yeah, just go and roll
All
all
at
4
once.
of them at once if you can.
Yeah. 9, 15, and 17 plus 8 for all of those.
Wow, I'm pretty sure Zach, your AC is somewhere around 14.
13. Those all hit.
13. I was trying to be generous. I thought it was 13. Okay. So yeah, they all hit. So roll me damage for all 4 of those.
Okay. 1d6. That's like a normal dice. Normal die. I only have 3 here, so I'm going to roll them and then roll 1 again.
Harcourt laughs, flicks some more food in, and says, "Nice one, guys," and leans over and says to the girl, "The legend of the Stinkfoot."
3, 1, 1. I've done 1 more point of damage than he did to me. And 3. I
So
don't think
6, 7, 8 plus what's your strength modifier or dex modifier?
Oh, right. I forgot the 5. Dex is 8.
Well,
No, your dex modifier is
what's your? Go ahead.
What?
Yeah, what is your dexterity modifier or strength
8.
modifier? So
Dexterity is 8.
Your dexterity is an 8, so that's a -1 modifier. What's your strength?
No. My dexterity is 20. It's a 5 modifier, and I'm proficient, so it's plus.
Okay, I didn't need your
It's
proficiency bonus. I just needed your ability modifier.
Plus 5.
So it's plus
Plus
5.
5.
So 5 times 4 is 20. So it's 26 points of damage.
Okay.
okay.
Thack, if you're still conscious, what are you going to do? This elven monk has a vice grip on your leather jacket, and he just punched you 4 times in the speed that you could throw 1, and it's done 26 points of damage to you.
Yeah, I'm hurt really bad by that, and you can see sort of the fighting spirit go out of Thack. He just sort of like wilts and then is just sort of leaning against Ella, just like, because his face is just a mess of bruises. Like he's barely able to hold himself up.
Thack, you feel you've got a chipped tooth, my man. And a split lip. Your lip has split right around your tusk.
How's that concert looking?
Oh my god!
I want to take a. Can I take a nap now?
Yes, you may.
I'm feeling that really hurt.
I'm
You
sorry I needed to do that.
authoritarian.
Yep. Yep.
And then he's just sort of barely conscious, leaning on you, not able to really move on his own or stay upright on his own.
Okay. I carry him back over to the fire.
And Harcourt walks with Mela and says, that was really great work. It was really awesome. We got to keep these rowdy types in line, and thumps him on the thigh.
As we sort of leave the clearing before we get to the fire at all. Oh wait, no. I left my guitar back by the fire. Never mind. When we get back to the fire and I see my guitar, I sort of get up on my own and I go and I grab it and I put it in my lap.
As Mela, as you are lowering Thack, or as you are walking Thack over, we flash back to a scene where Edamame is walking behind you and ushering you over to a chair next to a table where there is a rag that has a couple of small bloodstains on it. So Dwight, you see a scene of Edamame standing behind you, ushering you over to a table with some water and a rag to clean yourself up, and you have just been through it. What kind of exercise did Edamame just make you do that ended up with you with your forearms and your arms and your chest covered in bruises and welts, and you're just beat up and sore.
He was making me try to punch him, and he was just like whipping me with his little staff that looks like he uses it to barely get himself around. And he just kept hitting me in the forearm before I could get to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we come back to the present, and we see Mela making almost kind of the same face as Edamame, that kind of, he's not really bothered by this. His conscience is not pricked that he's just giving you a thorough tossing, right?
Spare the rod and spoil the child.
Well, so spare the rod and raise a weak student, right?
Yeah.
So I've got to go take care of just a couple of things. So we need to take a 10-minute intermission. I hate to do that here so early in the night, but this is a good kind of opening scene, opening act 1. So we will be back in 10 minutes, everybody. And we're back.
Hippopotamus.
I was as shocked as you were. I thought it was a simple pig. But so we see Thak sitting there holding his guitar, not necessarily playing it, just kind of cradling it, licking his split lip. And Mela, what do you do after this encounter?
That really did hurt you more than it hurt me. And I will continue doing that until you fall into line.
Okay. And the camera kind of the camera kind of pans away from Thak over to Shosh and Iseda, who are sitting together. Are you guys near the rest of the camp? Do you guys walk around the perimeter to get a little bit of space? What do you do?
Yeah, no, they're probably just there by the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all lizards here.
So Iseda is chatting with you. I guess you guys are probably talking in lizard folk or common. Are you polite?
Common.
Just common? Okay.
Yeah.
He says,
I cannot tell you how grateful I am that
what was the guy's name who sent you?
Atai.
Atai.
Grateful that Atai has sent you and Atlas brought you to us when she did. Truly, the stars shine upon us.
Yes, it would seem so. It is a very strange time here. We are very far from home, and I do not know the happenings in this region. What can you tell me?
He gets a very sad, almost kind of broken look over his face, and proceeds to tell you that
we were traveling, bringing a small number of families with us in a sort of prolonged migration. It was cross-country, and we knew the dangers, but we believed that we had the defense, that no one would be foolish enough to ambush us. But we were wrong. A warband of the Black Mirror Orcs ambushed our party. Many of our warriors were killed. They slaughtered many of the young of the herd. Ishis alone has managed to stay hidden with the herd. I believe he is with them even now. I do not believe he would allow himself to be taken. And if he was separated from the herd, he would have returned to us. So my heart must hold out hope that he remains with the herd. We came here to Fujidome seeking safety. As you can see, it is not a commodity that the city has as much of as it once did.
Indeed. I cannot speak to the past of Fujidome, but I must say, the only true safety is within the bands of our home. The outer lands are no place for the younglings and our families.
We would have left sooner, but it would appear that Fujidome falling would only bring more instability to a corridor that we as a people very much need. There will be migrations in the near future that will rely upon this corridor. The orcs cannot be allowed to add more pressure to a bad situation. And the city, I fear, is sick.
This is strange. I had thought that the greater part of our people had already settled in the south.
The greater part, yes.
But there are still clans here.
There are still clans that must move through from time to time. There is a movement, a gathering of the migrations. We are building a new herd. This group that I was leading was meant to be one of the contributions.
And where are they heading?
These are matters to be spoken of at a fire that I did not light.
Yes, indeed. And I am no warden. But I would say...
He cuts you off and says,
But perhaps one day I see the spirit in you. But go on, please.
I am here to serve, as our folk need. But now tell me, what of these black creatures that we fought today? That is not normal. And actually, can I have I'm wondering if this. So I probably don't know anything about these. I suspect I've never seen anything like this. But I do have favored enemy beast.
Okay.
I have advantage on survival checks to track favored enemies, as well as on intelligence checks to recall information about them.
okay.
Would that be of any use here? Of like,
Yeah, make me
helping
a nature
piece
or
this together.
Yeah, make me a nature or survival check. Make me a nature check with advantage about these creatures.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's pretty good. I got a irregular 20.
Okay. So Eseda leans over behind him and picks up a stick that has several prongs to it and a little bit of weaving at the base to kind of hold the fingers in the right position. And he reaches over and you see him kind of skewer a glob object. And you see that it is one of the tumors from the crocodile. And he says,
Cover your face.
and he pulls out a mask and puts it over his face. And he tosses it on the fire. And as it burns, make me a Arcana check.
Ooh.
Does Stack notice the smell?
Arcana.
Probably everybody notices the smell here soon.
It's not so great. I got a 6.
Okay. Is anybody else nearby and watching?
I'm sitting around the fire.
Okay. Yeah, you
But
can
I'm
make
not
me
paying very good attention. What's the check?
Arcana.
I should make it with disadvantage, but I'll go ahead and make it.
Yeah, probably, since you're not really paying attention.
6.
Okay.
I got 12.
Yeah. So, Mela, you notice that there is some amount of arcane energy being released as this thing burns. And anybody who's sitting around the fire can make me a perception check. You don't have to do it with disadvantage. It's just with your nose.
21.
Okay.
That's going to be a 19.
Okay. Mela?
Oh, another one?
This time is a perception check.
Oh, perception. I think I actually have something to add to that. Perception. Where is perception? Persuasion? No. Performance? No. Perception. 5. Okay. 5 plus 8. Not very good. 13.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
Thak and Tashash, you both smell a gut-wrenching, gag-inducing smell that it smells like rot and death. It smells like very, 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 very old death. But then just at the very end, Thak, you catch a faint smell of like flour or something. And Tashash, you smell you recognize it as the smell of a particular type of Feywild flower that grows in wetlands like this one that's growing out, that spreads out on the other side of the palisade from you. And you see Eseda turn to you and say,
I have not been able to define the nature of this malady, but I know that it is a deep sickness, a sickness not only of nature. There is no malady, deformation.
he's not a medicine guy, right? He's not an apothecary. He's not a healer. So he's struggling to find the words, but
Yes,
you can tell
it is.
he's confused about what's going on.
It is very strange indeed. That is for certain. I expect this is why I have come here. Yes, but I will say again though, with such danger so close by, it is not good for our people to remain.
We have no holdings or allies within the city. I am loath to bring our people inside the city walls with no patron or protector.
No, certainly not. But we can send them south, can we not? Let the Rangers remain here.
But we have no escort, we have no great numbers, no herd, and the orcs are clearly moving on the plains.
This is not good. And there are too many for just one to guard them. We must send for more of the Rangers. I think this is best.
I will
But in the
send
meantime, that is a matter. It is a matter that will not be resolved in one evening. In the meantime, we must find out what this is. How long has it been? How long have they been attacking these creatures?
They have made a number of attacks, forays near to our camp over the last few nights. But tonight, they seemed to be in a frenzy. They attacked all three at once. We only suspected that there were multiple.
So their numbers, they come in greater numbers now, yes.
We do not know if there are more than 3. All we know is that they have been coming at the palisades for the last few nights, and today they seemed to be hungry or angry or aggressive in some way. Something drove them to a frenzy.
Indeed. Well, I would seek your counsel then in the matter on what you would have us do, but it is my thinking that perhaps in the morning I will go into the swamp and see if I can track them to their source. Yes.
Hang on one sec.
That sounds like something that isn't troublemaking. Back. Some of my charges are a little better behaved than others.
Darkers, elves.
You know, I try to explain the concept that D&D is sacred, and just nobody else in my family will just treat it with the level of fanaticism and fervor as me. So, sorry, that was a dry skin crisis. What are you gonna do?
Moisturize.
Well, that's what I encouraged. You know,
Moisten your eyes.
shed a little tear for me. Aseda looks at you and says,
That would be a grave undertaking and a dangerous one. Think about it and be sure that you have measured the cost of this foray.
I expect it would be, indeed. But what is the alternative? Do we wait for them to attack again? Perhaps they will come in even greater numbers.
We shall see. In the meantime, I will certainly withdraw my people from the lines.
Yes. Well, I am here to serve. So, if there is any need or any task that must be accomplished, you need but ask.
Thank you, friend. Tashash. You are welcome at my fire anytime.
Yes.
So we pan the camera over and see Thak sitting there. He's obviously been chewing on more than just his lip. He's had something going through his head. Does Thak do anything?
I mean, in all this time, it's probably nightfall, and I'll bet that Harcourt has gone and done his thing. But if it's time for Thak to try something more, then I certainly can.
Go for it.
So
well, let's jump back over to Harcourt then real quick. Harcourt, do you walk jauntily away from the camp and head for the gate to go down to the city, or do you slip away?
I think I slip away and come back, ideally unnoticed that I was even gone.
Make me a stealth check.
Okay.
Should that be contested by any of our perception checks?
Yes,
it should not be contested.
Definitely be contested by my perceptions.
Okay.
I think it's going to be against all y'all's passive perception because you are all sitting there doing your own thing and none of you are actively scanning for...
Mela is actively scanning for all of his charges all of the time.
Hearing based. All right. You know what? I'm going to say that because you're doing this against Mela and he's only using his ears, I'm going to give you a +2. But sure. Mela, you can contest. What?
Oh. I guess if we're not rolling, never mind. But I was going to take it with disadvantage if we were rolling.
No. Well, you just use your standard passive perception. So,
okay, that's 12.
Okay. Mela, roll me a perception check. And Harcourt, roll me a stealth check with a +2.
Okay.
Sheesh. 8.
15.
Okay. Dave, do you have a perception check, a passive perception on your sheet that is higher than 15?
My passive perception is 15.
I don't think I'm really paying any attention to it.
Okay, so we're not even going to bother with it. Harcourt, you slip away. Thak, at some point in the night, do you go looking for Harcourt, or do you think about him, or whatever? Or was that only like if you saw him going into town?
That was only if I thought that there were people going into town. I'm trying to get to town tonight if I can.
Okay.
I have not been able to so far.
Not so far. Not yet. He's got you on the yo-yo string. So what do you do?
Me or Thack?
No, real quick, Thack, because he's doing something that's
what
gonna
do I
happen.
do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to look over real quick. Look around and see if it looks like Mela is meditating or if Mela is like watching. Is Mela paying attention to me? Do I think?
Mela is obviously paying too much attention to you because he did not notice Harcourt sneaking off.
Mm.
Okay. So I've got my guitar. It's my spellcasting focus,
Mhm.
and I'm going to attempt a new spell that I learned when I got to third level just now.
Mhm.
And this is a spell that is going to work on a creature that I can see within range that can hear and understand me. So Mela
Okay.
can hear and understand me, and I can see him, and he's within range. Or we're within 30 feet of each other, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So I start to play a song that you've never heard, and there are some strange melodies going on, Mela. Go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Okay, real quick, are you trying to put me to sleep?
No, but I am trying to charm you, so you should make
I
it
have
with
advantage.
because you're an elf. Yeah.
Of course you do. You jerk. You authoritarian.
Here we go. Rolling in. 12 plus it's wisdom save.
No,
I
it's just your wisdom bonus.
Do a wisdom saving throw.
So 12 plus your wisdom saving throw bonus.
The saving throws are in the upper left of the D&D Beyond.
Okay, yeah, okay. So 2, so 14.
14.
Yeah.
Fact, did your proficiency bonus go up when you hit level 3 or anything? Or no, it wouldn't be your proficiency. Yeah, it would. Your proficiency bonus gets added to your DC.
No, it's my proficiency bonus did not go up, so it's a 12. So
Okay.
this spell does not work on him. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's up to the DM. It doesn't say in the spell's description whether on a failed save the target notices. But it doesn't work.
Yeah. I'll say that
I
it.
have advantage. Your tricks won't work on me.
All
I'm
right.
just playing a song, man. Just playing a song. What's wrong with this song?
I
You don't
noticed,
like songs?
I noticed a line of lizard folk behind me just falling asleep or whatever they were.
So, Harcourt, you slip through the gate and go down the stairs. Do you take the earliest possible side alley and stick to the side alleys, or do you kind of blend in broad daylight and just kind of amble at your leisure?
What time of day is it? What's going on?
It is now getting on towards like 10, 11 at night. It's
Okay,
late.
so it's dark. I mean,
Oh,
except
it's
for
dark,
street
yeah.
lights if they're whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see on many corners lamps. You even see a few hanging glow orbs, very small, little kind of magical lights that illuminate a few square feet, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm. Harcourt's having a great time. He's not thinking. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. He's just minding his own business. You know, he had some stuff to take care of in town. But he also knows that you don't in any town. You don't find the halfling underground by walking through the middle of the street and shouting. So he's walking on the side roads and staying in the shadows and looking for the key marks for the what do you call them? The thieves' cant little sigils to find out where the underground is, and he's going to try to make his way to a place where it looks like it's a good place to get rid of some things in exchange for the gold they're worth.
Okay. I wish that I had the city map in front of me, but I do not. So let me consult my mind map real quick. Okay, so as you walk down the street, you notice as you get to a couple of cross roads that are wider, where there's an actual kind of 4-cart wide path, a large official city street. As you look up and down it to the east and west, you notice that to your east, things appear to be a bit more posh. And to the west, things get a little more kind of normal, common, everyday folk. The houses up the east way are getting bigger, more marble, more guards. And you know that you see towards way down where kind of the shops kind of stop, that shop sized buildings stop, and you start seeing large private estates. And then, so do you continue south along that main road? Do you turn east or west?
Do I see any scratches or anything indicating?
Yeah, make me a investigation check.
Great.
Well, actually, I don't know whether it be investigation or perception, because investigation is gathering information and doing research and asking around. I think this is a perception check. You're looking for
the marks I know to look for.
Yeah. Make me a perception check.
Cool. And just whatever, but I know generally where they would be, like on a curb or on a post. Advantage or just regular wise?
I'll give you no. I think this is just a check. You know where to look, and that's the trick.
Sounds good. Let's see. Perception.
Other people wouldn't even be able to make this check to look for them. They just don't know.
Is it 10?
10. Okay. You do. You notice that you do notice a arcane mark on the not an arcane mark. You recognize a thieves' cant mark indicating territory to the west.
Okay. No.
And so you now kind of have a sense that facing this way, somewhere in this block, there's going to be. So if you want to this time make me an investigation check, trying to like look around and search and doing some more kind of like logic work.
If I hadn't been so lucky, I would have rolled a 1 just there.
Oh, nice. Halfling.
But instead, I rolled an 18.
Okay. You go to look for all of these. You're tracing your fingers along, feeling for any kind of gumminess or stickiness that might indicate an invisible ink kind of thing or something like that. And your fingers brush across a tripwire line, and you immediately yank your hand up and avoid pulling the little trap, and instead you manage to find a sigil, and you find a sigil for fence, and you find a set of. You look at the kind of constellation of thieves' cant, and you see that what you're looking for is 2 blocks east of something like the big water fountain at the circle of trees. And so you now have basically directions. And at this point you've traveled through the city enough, and you've kind of cut through a number of corridors and everything, and you've heard people chattering. You know that there is a large plaza fountain in the middle of the city. So you start heading over that way. And sure enough, you find a spot where there are a number of homes and shops. The shops on below, homes above, in a kind of square block, and in the middle of it is a little copse of trees. And you manage to find this somewhere around 2 a.m. And you see in Thieves' Cant on one of the homes where there is a ferret sleeping in the window. You see a little bell. Little gold bell next to a halfling-sized door.
Okay. Within reach, the bell is within reach, or it's up there? Or...
Yeah, it's within reach, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a gentle little tinkle on the bell. Ding, ding.
Okay. You see this ferret immediately lift up its head and eyeball you, and you see it get up and slink away. And a few minutes later, you see a rather rotund, older halfling fellow who is wearing what looks to be pajamas. and is holding out a candle, and he's opened a little kind of sliding door thing,
Little hatch.
a little hatch, but it's pretty large. It's not like a little tiny little slit security thing. It's fairly large, like a parcel could fit through it. And he slides it open, and he looks at you, and he says,
What do you want?
Hey,
What? Who is that? Timothy?
sorry for the late hour. I'm here to see if anybody's up for a little business, some quick business.
oh. And he immediately is not tired anymore. It was apparently just a ruse. And he pulls off the sleeping cap and he yanks off the pajamas. And you see a little vest underneath and it's got some silver chains. And he opens the door and he says, "Oh, come on in. Let's do some business. What guild do you, who are you with?"
I come from far away. I work with Tiggs.
Tiggs?
Is that enough information? I don't know.
Tiggs. Oh, yeah. I know Tiggs. Come on in. Make me a perception check.
Okie dokie. And again, if I hadn't been so lucky, that would have been
Oh, wow.
That was another one?
That was
Oh, my
another one.
word.
Oh no.
Hopefully I am not still unlucky, but I actually rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah. So you pick up on...
Plus your perception?
What's that?
Plus 3.
Plus your perception modifier?
3.
So 11?
No, I rolled a 5 and it
Oh, okay.
went to an 8.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you pick up on what this guy's putting down. Game recognized game. This guy knows how to keep it slippery, you know. So he invites you over to a little table, and you see that there are a number of chests and strong boxes and lock boxes and lockers and baskets full of goods and whatnot. You see some jewelry, you see some silks, you see some nice things in here, and you realize, yeah, you probably hit it square on the head. This is a fence, and so he sits you down, gives you some crumpets and tea and whatnot, and says,
So, what kind of business we doing tonight?
I've been in town a few days. I picked up a few odds and ends, and I'm interested in, lightening my load a little. Walking away with a little bit of gold in exchange for some nice items.
Okay, very good. Well, let's see what you got.
And first I bring out...
You looking for anything in particular in exchange? You looking to do a trade? You looking for gold? You looking for gems?
I'm just looking. Let's see what there is.
Okay, we can trade. Let's see what you got.
So I pull out the bottle of wine that Tig sent for his friend. That never got delivered. I'm sorry. Harcourt left it in the office. He doesn't know what happened to it.
So you do not bring out the bottle of wine?
No, he does.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's the bottle of wine that Tig sent. It's just a fine bottle of wine. And also the very, very fine elven wine.
Oh,
with the silver stopper.
Okay. So that's right. So you pilfered a bottle of wine from Tiggs himself, or at least from that building. There was a nice bottle of wine.
Tig sent it as a gift for his friend.
That's right.
Shuttlesworth or whatever his name was.
Chet.
Yes, and
Chap.
It was going to be Chinny, but by the end of the night, it was Chet.
Right. So Tig sent me with that as a gift, along with a little package sealed with a magic seal. I'm leaving the package in my,
Sure. Okay.
There. But the bottle of wine, and then also from the something crumpet tea house, the last tea house.
The last
Blossom tea house.
Tea house. Whenever there's that really expensive bottle of wine that we didn't do much with, and I just slipped it in as we left. So those two bottles of wine first. That one you said was like really fancy. The other one was like nice wine.
Yeah. Okay. So he looks at these two and he picks up the first bottle and he says, "Okay, little odd, but it's a nice vintage. That's okay. We can do some business with this. I can move this. I like this." And his eyes go over to the elven bottle of wine, and they immediately go up to the cork, and he notices that the seal has been broken. And he says, and his eyes kind of furrow, and he kind of sticks out his lower lip, and he says, yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're playing at. I can't really move this as a. I mean, I can. It's still got some value, but this is not going to be anywhere near what it would be worth if it were still sealed, right?
Let's see what we can do.
Okay. I mean, it's a nice. I don't know why this guy's accent keeps slipping to Jersey, but I don't know. We can make all halflings Jersey if you want.
It's his cousin Vinny.
All in favor of halflings having a Jersey accent?
I don't care.
Nay. Matt says nay. All right. He says, I can do something. I can do something with this, but
The ones from Jersey.
Probably I would be the end buyer for this. I can't really resell an open bottle of wine, but I'm interested. What else you got? And you produce the dagger?
And yeah, I pull the dagger out and lay it on the black felt.
Yeah, you lay it on the black felt, and you see him look at it for a sec and kind of give a puzzled look. Make me one more perception check.
Okie dokie. 22.
22. You see this man begin to, with masterful subtlety and commitment and authenticity, begin feigning indigestion, but you see through it. You see the thought occur in his head, and you see him begin responding with his eyes and everything, and not his body. There's just something off. You can tell. And he begins to say, "Oh, you know what? I'm on second thought, I'm not really in the market for wine and and things like that right now. It's late. If you find anything, look, if you manage to get some actual real product, something that's not already open like this, feel free to come back and see me. But I'm not really interested in doing business with someone who brings me open bottles of wine. You can see yourself out." And he starts to get up and walk towards the door.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. What's going on? This dagger. I just come across it randomly, right? Some guy in an alley. What's going on? What are you seeing here?
Listen, kid. I do a particular kind of business, okay? I don't do the secret game. I'm a fence. People come to me because they know that when I sell them something, it's gone into a veritable black hole. Nothing. If I buy something, you're getting a certain level of guarantee. So just sleep easy knowing that nobody's going to know that you brought this to me. Now get out of my house.
And I'm going to just press a little bit and say, nobody's going to know I brought what to you.
He reaches over and he pulls a little bell. Ding, ding. And he says, if I were you, I'd be out that door before something happens.
All right. Well, cheers.
He starts picking up your bottles of wine, and he starts trying to shove them into your hands. Roll me a persuasion check.
All right.
Oh, Sir Robert is miffed with me for not. No, you're still there. Okay.
Yep, I'm good. I'm happy. Let's see. You said persuasion.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion check to see if you can butter one last exchange out of this guy.
15.
15. Okay. What kind of approach do you take with this guy to try to get him to see things from your perspective and give you just a little bit of information? Do you try to go with sympathy? Do you try to butter him up? Do you try to offer him a favor? What do you do?
I want to let him understand that I'm here on some business that's important to Tiggs. That's really important to Tiggs, and it's bigger than fencing.
You say that, and it's bigger than fencing, and he just immediately busts out laughing. And somehow you've disarmed him with this pun of fence. You've come to him as a fence, and this happens to be a fencing dagger. And so he kind of, his shoulders drop a little bit, and he says, Tiggs did me right. He did me right years and years ago. I wouldn't have this nice little shop and this setup that I have if it weren't for him. So out of respect to Tiggs, and only out of respect to Tiggs, I don't know how you got that thing. I keep slipping Jersey, man. I don't know how you got that thing, but I don't think you want to have it when the people who are looking for it come looking. Do you even know how these things work? And he picks up the dagger and he says, and he kind of smells it. He kind of closes his eyes and he kind of hefts it around in his hand and he kind of waves it a little bit. And you see him kind of give a quick thrust. And he goes, yeah, see this? This one's depleted. That means it's been used. And there's no reason why something like this would be in the hands of somebody like you unless it was underground, unless it was being hidden from view, unless somebody didn't want this thing to be found and tied to somebody. These things are, how do I explain this? Okay, so when you duel, if you unjustly duel and you kill someone, you murder them, these things know. This may as well be an eyewitness in the courtroom that can get you the death penalty. So if I were you, I'd be real careful about how you handle this thing. And he puts it back in your hand and says, please, nobody should ever know that that thing even appeared in this premise. Do we understand each other?
I was never here.
Well, if you were never here, then how did we drink this wine? And he reaches over and he boink, pops the top off of the big bottle of elven wine, pours you a glass, and tosses you a big, fat coin that you recognize as being probably a quarter of its, retail value, which is generous. You were expecting him to try to sell you at like a tenth or something. So
great. I'm happy with that. So we'll share some wine with him.
We'll identify that amount of money. Let's say he reaches over and tosses you a gem, and that gem is worth 100 gold.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Wine.
And I finish up
It
with
is
him.
very expensive wine.
Have some pleasantries with him. Finish up and make my way back to camp and try to sneak back in unnoticed. Probably at like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah, something like that. For it just before dawn, that little weasel comes in, and you see him. You see the owner kind of give a jolt, and he's like, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Oh, the wife is not gonna be happy. I'll have to have Jiminy open up shop. All right, it's time. You probably want to hit the road before light comes up. You've got a good 45 minutes. And you realize, oh, crap, I'm on the wrong side of the street. I'm on the wrong side of town, a little tipsy, in a city I'm not familiar with, and I've got 45 minutes to beat the light. So, Mud, as you are making your way back through the city, you are a drunk, extra tiny, tipsy little hobbits.
True.
Making your way through the city. Are you trying to keep a low key? Are you trying to act like it's perfectly natural for? And you do bump into a couple of street urchins and guys who are sleeping on a corner or something like that. So
Sure.
Do you say anything to them or interact with
Harcourt.
them?
If any of them seem sort of down and out, Harcourt is always sympathetic to people who are, working things out. And so, he slips some little bit of coins here and there. Hey, glad handing people, making friends, because you never know, right?
Okay.
And lets him know, and he's just giving a few coins out here and there.
You pass a noodle bar where there's a small group of young adults who are eating noodles and laughing and drinking wine. And as you walk past them, none of them notice you except for one, and they kind of like spook and cry out and say, "Oh my goodness! Look at the tiny little man! Oh wow, you're tiny even for a halfling, aren't you? Oh my gosh, he's so cute! Oh my gosh, please, can." And she's like, can I? And she's basically asking if she can pick you up.
Sure, I'm actual size.
She snatches you up and hugs you and just says, "Oh my gosh, don't you guys just love halflings?" And all the rest of them are like, please put him down. You're embarrassing us, please. Oh my! And so she's in the moment and apparently a huge fan. Matt's like, "Can we play D&D, please?"
No, what I'm trying to give Sir Robert the sign to pick her pocket.
I was just waiting for Josh to finish talking. He was gonna also hug her back.
Listen, I don't wait for me to stop talking. Jesus is going to come back soon.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, Harcourt
50-50.
just plays it and hams it up and is like, "Oh, I love ladies, y'all are the best." And is like puts his hand on her shoulder, gives her armor, all that stuff just to feel check she's got any loose change.
She's got a scintillating jeweled tortoiseshell comb stuck into her hair. I mean, this is like low-hanging fruit, man.
Yeah, but for how much longer?
Make me a sleight of hand check to steal that, or you can make one to try to dip into her pocketses.
So just patting the outside. Am I fishing, or did I feel something and I might want to check that?
Tell you what, if you want, you can first make me a sleight of hand check just to get a general sense of what is where on her persona.
Yep. That sounds good.
Hey, folks, this is the only time that consent is not necessary. All other times, consent is key, okay?
12.
12. You notice that she has some sort of purse hanging. It's kind of, you'd have to really reach down. So it's not the easiest thing for you to get to. But that really seems to be the only thing on her is that purse and that comb sticking out of her hair.
Yeah, let's take a look at that comb. Let's see about that. It seems pretty nice.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Not natural 20.
Okay, yeah, you whip this thing out, twirl it with your fingers, tuck it up underneath your coat sleeve, and just kind of suck that thing up inside, and you've yanked her comb out of her hair.
Great. Hey, ladies, it was nice to talk to you. Pleasant to see you. I got somewhere to be, but I'll tell you what. And I pull out like a piece of silver, one silver piece, and say, "Drinks are on me. Have a great time."
Okay, you drop and so the bartender gives you okay, and he goes and gets, or not the bartender, the noodle shop owner goes over and pours tops off everybody's glasses and lifts the bottle to you. Yeah,
great. And I leave if there's any change. It's just a tip, and I just walk out.
Okay. Now, was that a real coin?
Good question. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Consent is always important, and Sir Robert's character Harcourt is acting like a villain and not respecting consent.
That's right.
By the way,
no, totally false. Consent was given implicitly by the request to pick me up.
That's right.
Consent.
That's right.
It was consent to have things, shuffled around.
Listen, by the time she picked him up, my stuff, your stuff, my space, your space. Who knows?
Look,
who knows where?
We're friends. Come on.
Right.
Good friends.
That's right.
What's your great grandmother's hair pick between two people who've never met before? Anyway,
skedaddles and tries to get back in time.
Hey,
sure. Yeah.
I was.
Oh, if he gets back, then Thack has been sleeping this whole time. Do I have a long rest?
Yeah, you have long rested since then. And so, Robert, make me one last perception check of the night, but at disadvantage, seeing as how you've had quite a bit of very strong elven wine. Well, not very strong, very, very delicious elven wine. Go for it.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
5.
Yeah, okay. 5. Yeah, cool. All right, so you managed to get back to.
Oh, I heard something about sneaking back.
Slipping back.
Slipping
back.
Yeah. So you managed to get back to camp unmolested and unharmed, having made a couple of new friends, acquired a few new objects, a few bits and pieces of information. And you guys all awake.
But does he get back unseen by Mela?
Well, that's a good question. You do need to slip back into camp. Rather than giving you full disadvantage, I'm just going to give you a -2.
Okay.
Because of the views.
Stealth?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yes, you're making a stealth check to slip back into camp undetected.
With -2?
With -2.
Okay. 16.
16. Okay. Mela, I think that beats your
Passive is 15, yeah.
Yeah, that beats your passive perception check. Just barely. You hear a twig snap and some leaves rustle, and you see a bird fly out of a branch. Harcourt, you picked that bush because you saw that there were some birds in it. You knew that it would give you some sound cover.
And suddenly Harcourt's right next to Mela and says, "Hey, what was that?"
Spooky little midget.
Can I come over to meet them about this time? I'd like to. I want to talk to Mela.
Wow, you guys are a crack of dawn kind of crew, huh? Yeah. So
Not me, I'm asleep.
Yeah. So Tashash is like,
Are we awake? Are we moving? Are we on the hunt? Okay.
all right. So you come up and you come barging over, and suddenly.
Well,
you've
first
got
I
two
want
of
to
your
get
party
something to
members in your
eat,
face.
and assuming with our immunities, we would probably check it first, but after making sure it's not going to kill us, the lizards would probably eat the alligators we killed.
Oh no.
Okay,
Those
so those are
bodies
like
have been burned. They've already made a pyre and burned the bodies.
Okay, so those are like
They're
this is like
diseased.
special case.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
diseased. Yeah.
They're we would normally eat anything like that.
Oh yeah.
If
I
it
mean,
was-
like even if you found a gator that had like died and been sitting around for a couple of days, maybe even a few days,
Okay.
you'd
This
probably
is, yeah.
Hey, that's
Wow.
right. Nice.
No,
Tender.
these are like
Tenderized.
okay. So like this is a serious problem if lizards are not going to eat the corpses.
Yeah, and remember
something really wrong
They're
with them.
really diseased.
Aseda mentioned that. He said, I do not know the precise nature of the malady or the sickness, but it appears to be beyond nature. And that's why he's not letting his people.
Right. Okay.
Aseda actually ordered the handful of other people in the camp to gather wood, make a fire, and burn them.
Right. Okay. So we did that like right after that was taken care of after the. Okay. Cool. Well, I don't know. I'll just go over to Mela then.
Okay.
Meet up with him once I figure out that they're awake. Good morning.
Yeah.
I want to point out that there is a touch that the sun has kissed the horizon. It is still night, still the ending of night, but you guys all seem to be most
energized. Trance. Did I have any
I have
dreams?
waited till morning. It is morning now. Oh.
Did you cause any trouble last night?
Christmas morning.
Who
do you say that to?
To Shosh.
No.
Hello? Oh.
I did not.
That is good. There was a lot of trouble going on last night.
Yes, there was. I wish to speak to you of these matters, and I have a request.
Okay.
My people here And I myself are in need of some help.
Keep snoring. Thack, you better keep snoring. Josh, keep going.
What kind of help?
Our people are not so well defended here. They are in need of protection, and it is more than I can manage by myself. I am sending word to summon other of my kin to help with their situation. But in the meantime, yes, I would ask for your aid in this. I would also ask, and I have a duty in this. I must seek out what these creatures are and where they come from. It is a great danger, and much is uncertain. I wish to go out and find the source of this malady. Yes.
That sounds doable.
Would you join me?
I would join you. I do
Great.
need to make sure that my other charges do not return to the town and cause a ruckus.
Yes.
Am I anywhere near while they're talking about this?
You were sitting right next to me.
Great.
Their help would be appreciated as well.
He pauses and looks at Thack.
Thack is asleep.
And then he
You
looks
guys
back
wake
at
him up.
Mela and says,
Except that one is very loud.
Well, I think I may have quieted him down a little bit.
Yes. Well, if he comes with us into the swamps, he cannot be loud.
I don't know how he's going to take that. We might want to wake him up and find out.
Yes, this is a good idea. Will you ask him to be quiet for me? Would you do this?
I will try.
Thank you.
Harcourt, how are you feeling about this?
Sure, I'm up for a game. I agree with you, by the way. We need to make sure that guy doesn't get back into town. He's a troublemaker.
Yes.
Where were you, though, last night, Harcourt?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, me?
I was just, talking with my friends here, making some new lizard folk friends, taking a little nap here and there. All kinds of good stuff.
You think you could find two people that would back you up on that?
Well, I'll tell you what. And I pull out the bottle of wine that I had from Tiggs, and I say, I'm not sure I could remember, but we definitely had a great time.
You look around, there's like two minors, two children, two adults who are obviously dead to the world because of previous combat, and you're like, wait, who did you have this party?
Yeah, but it was really good, though. Hey, I think, wait a minute. Wait, my memory is fuzzy, Mr. Mello here, but I think you were there, right?
I was not.
No, when I came in here, you said I would be conducting this interview.
Look, the important thing here is that we agree that we need to keep that guy, point to Thack, that guy out of town and out of trouble. You and I are the adults here, and we got to make sure.
As long as
He
all
must stay quiet.
as long
He
as
must be
all-
very quiet. Because he is noisy.
as par example.
As you guys say that, as you say, we're all being quiet, everybody make me a perception check, hearing based. If you have any abilities that affect your hearing or whatever. Thack, you're asleep,
Pointy ears.
so you can make this with disadvantage.
I'm don't think I make it at all. I'm asleep.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true. You wouldn't make it at all. Go ahead.
I got an unnatural 20.
Okay.
I got an 18.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Okay. Harcourt, you just barely catch the faintest, mostly the low-end rumbles. You know, hobbits stay low to the ground. They listen to the earth. They know how to listen for, and you hear a boom. So all of you guys are, Thack, you're still sleeping? Everybody else, you guys are all talking to each other and just chilling out around the fire? Okay.
And Harcourt says, sorry, it's like a thud or like a...
I
feel it.
Okay, make me a... boy, I wish we still had dungeoneering as a knowledge skill. Let's do knowledge nature.
Okay, which is a nature check or a...
Nature check. Sorry,
Okay.
Nature check. Sorry.
Great, just making sure.
Yep.
I know where that is. There it is. 15.
That was it had a little bit of duration to it.
Use survival for dungeoneering if you want dungeoneering.
That's true. You're right. That probably should have been. Do you have a higher modifier for survival than nature?
Nope,
I
it's
do.
the same.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I say to now, Mr. Mella, did you
Yes?
hear that? Something wasn't right. Something's not right. Something's weird. And I unlike my usual jovial self, look a little genuinely alarmed.
Could I cast Primeval Awareness?
Cast primeval awareness. Well, you can cast whatever your heart desires, my man. I just need to. It's all in the dice.
Oh wait, no, it's not. No, wait.
Mella's a little bit concerned that Harcourt stopped being...
Weird.
Primeval Aware.
Hardcore.
As an action, I can expend one ranger spell slot. 1 minute per level of spell slot. To sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of you.
Within 1 mile. Okay.
Or
do
within up to 6 miles if you are in your favored terrain, which I think we technically are. We're in a swamp.
You're at the edge of the swamp, so I'm going to say you're in it.
And while he's
This
doing
feature-
that, Harcourt has pressed his back against a log or whatever they're sitting on, so as in a defensive way, and is genuinely looking around like towards the direction or maybe where the thump might have come from, and is looking genuinely concerned.
Yeah, you don't know. It was a 15. You don't know what direction it came from, but you heard it and heard. And when you stopped and thought about it, you kind of realized like that was not a small event that made that sound, right?
Yeah.
Did I pick up anything?
Primeval awareness,
Yes.
6 miles, aberrations,
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or
and
undead.
undead. You perceive aberrations, fae,
Whoa.
and undead.
Oh,
Whoa.
they're everywhere.
Is this like a
My
radar?
man, I
or
was
is it
not
just
expecting you to take
yes or no in
the
that
shroud of mystery of my campaign and just plunge a dagger into it, tear it in half, and rip it apart.
But does he know where they are, or just he knows that they're
They're-
nearby?
Whether they are within 6 miles of you, yes. You actually
say-
also perceive
Yeah.
maybe there's a tinge of elemental, but really it's mostly aberration, fae, and undead.
Tashash's frill it doesn't like go straight up, but it goes wide and it's kind of quivering like this is like
Fact.
something is
Prepare
out there.
yourself.
I
Fact.
sense strange things.
Wait,
I'm
What's
gonna go
going
up to
on?
the. I'm gonna go. Can I go up? I want to go up to the wall and see if I can see anything, or like get
Okay.
more. And let me see if there's anything that. Oh wait, I bet. You making it.
I'm up.
Back has prepared himself.
Well, I can't track anything with that. I do have Natural Explorer, which double my proficiency with intelligence or wisdom checks for that terrain type.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
But yeah, okay. Well, can I spot anything or notice anything? What's going on, or what's going on?
No, not right now. I mean, you guys are just standing in camp.
I went up to the. I wanted to go up to the palisade.
Oh, okay.
Up onto the wall. And,
Okay, go up to the palisade and make me a hearing-based perception check if you want.
Okay. So that would be. So would I get the bonus for that then?
Yes.
Okay. So that is a 19.
Okay, 19. You are listening. You are trying to filter literally an entire wetlands at the beginning of dawn level noise, which means that there's already dozens and dozens and dozens of species that have begun to wake up and are beginning to make noises. So you're hearing this kind of wall of sound, but you like kind of angled, not straight ahead of you, but slightly off to the left and way deep in the wetlands, you hear an entire category of sound drop out. And you realize that should not happen. This is the time when everything is still swelling and building and building. So for an entire
Karen.
A wall of silence.
Time of Karen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find a Seda.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you are walking back over to find a Seda, you make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. Okay. I got an 11.
As you are walking forwards, you suddenly hear this sound come darting in, and you instinctively, reflexively try to jump away, but you don't quite jump away quickly enough, and this thing grazes your forearm, and you take 3 hit points of damage as this massive dart-like object skewers into the ground, and at the top of it you see this bizarre little kind of box looking thing that's kind of glowing with arcane energy, and you see it's got some like little buttons and regions to it, and you see this kind of wave of light kind of scan around coming off of it. Anybody who wants to try to dodge out of the way of the light, you can do that.
Is this near enough to me that I'm affected by it?
You see that wave of light seems to extend out a good ways, like a good 40, 50 feet, and it's about to sweep over all of you.
I will hide.
Okay, so everybody duck for cover, make a reflex saving throw to see if you can dive out of the way and hide behind something. Dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Harcourt, being a very small guy, always tries to hide from unknown foes.
11.
I got an 8.
Okay.
It's going to be a 19 for me.
Okay, so Mela and Tashash.
Oh, no, I rolled the wrong side. Sorry, hold on. I rolled a 12-sided die.
And still got a 22.
No, it was actually only a 10.
A 10. Okay. So the light. So Thack, you alone managed to jump out of the way.
Back. The dexterous.
That's right. He's got good instincts for ducking and rolling
just
to get
woke
out
up.
of a nasty situation. Yeah. He just kind of lays. He's like, oh, and he just lays back down, and there's already a bundle right next to him, so it just blocks the line of sight. So you guys feel this kind of weird electric tingling sensation go through your body as this wave of light passes over you, and you hear a voice a few seconds later come through, and it says,
Noah, come. Are you there, Noah?
Yeah.
You recognize a voice. Even through this distortion, you recognize the voice of one of the fellow pupils of Edamame. Let's see here. Here we go. Yes, Mame. You recognize the voice of. Whoa. Sorry. Hang on. Senko. I'm sorry. I apologize. Senko. It is a female, and it's a female voice. Shoot, I screwed it all up.
Mela, come in, Mela.
Hi, Senko. How are you talking to me?
Why are you down there with the lizards? Mela, this is a crisis. We need all hands.
What's happening?
Wait there.
And just then, you see a come up from up above you. You hear a kind of sound, and some of you, if you choose, you look up, and you see a few seconds later, descending in the darkness, a massive.
Elf paratroopers?
No, you see some sort of flying shape. You see these enormous broad wings. They look like kind of Pegasus-looking wings, and you see some sort of bulky bodied flying bird thing. But then, as it gets closer, as it's soaring downwards through the sky, getting closer and closer to you, when it's about 100 feet above you, you see it begin to just fully fall, like begin to drop like a brick out of the sky. And then for the last 60 feet or so, you see this fiery plume coming off of and away from and out and away from the feet of this mech suit looking female elf. You can see her face is exposed. Her helmet is open. And you see she's got these enormous wings coming off of her. Excuse me.
Did she shoot me?
She looks over at you, Tashash, and she says, she kind of puts a hand to her chest, or, she does some sort of military salute thing, and she says, my apologies, friend. I did not mean for my drones to hit you. Please forgive me. And she takes out she whips out a rag and slaps it on your arm, and you feel these hit points heal up, and your arm
backs away from her.
And her eyes whip over to you.
Mela, why are you camping when there is danger in the city? We need you.
I've removed danger from the city.
What danger have you removed?
This troublemaker over here.
She looks over at him and looks back over at you. You're chuckling and laughing.
Always Why can you never take anything seriously that needs to be taken seriously?
You see her kind of take a deep breath and calm herself, and she says,
the city is under attack. One of the oath trees has been cut down, Mela.
So
oath trees?
The oath trees? So Mela, because you are from this city, or at least you've lived here for 50 years, that one of the reasons why this city is blessed, one of the ways in which this city is blessed, is that not only is there the Alliance tree on top of the mesa, but there are a number of other individual oath trees that grow throughout the city. and outside of the city. And around each of them, there are small kind of centers of community. Each tree serves as a hub of the city. And there's actual magic that comes from the trees. And so the city kind of runs to a certain degree off of that magic. And the oath trees kind of serve as focal points of it and distributors of it. For one of these trees to be cut down, that's a huge, huge deal. If
People are attacking the city.
something's happening, like, nope, this has never happened before. No one has ever cut down an oath tree because this is an act of full treason. This is an open act of rebellion against the Elven Alliance.
Treason.
Wow.
Did you hear that one, Matt?
I put a bear trap in front of me and I stepped in it. So you know that this is an act of full treason for this. If the city in an official capacity ever harmed any tree, it would basically be sending the immediate message to the elves: we're done with this alliance. We are at war with you. So.
Sorry, so is this tree tied to a specific group?
She hasn't said anything yet about which tree it is.
Which tree is it?
It is one of sorry, shoot, I hadn't actually picked that yet, and I don't have the map in front of me because I was trying to cut down on the amount of stuff in front of me. We'll say that it is Mind Palace. It is one of the Southeast Grove. You know that means that it is just outside of the city on, it's kind of in between the city and the mesa itself. There's a large, maybe a couple of 100-acre forest where a lot of halflings live. And on the there's one oath tree on the north side of the grove and one on the south side. You don't know which one.
And we're more like due south of the mesa.
You guys are on the north side. You're on the northwest corner of the mesa where the north. So if the mesa's like this and the city comes out from the mesa like this, I'm looking at it my way, but it'll be flipped again. So maybe this will actually be right here. If this is the mesa and this is the city, right here at that top corner is where that gate is, and the palisades go out and the wetlands fan out away from the north face of the mesa.
Okay.
You know that the reason why the wetlands exist is because this tree is gushing out a lot of excess water out into the wetlands, right? And you know that it comes out of 4 major sources.
Okay. And what's this lady's name again?
This is Senko.
Senko.
Yeah.
Senko, these lizard folk, friends of mine, are under attack. Also, in addition to the city being under attack.
Not anymore. The threat has been quelled. I was briefed on it this morning before dawn.
The threat is still there.
There is something out.
Small thing. We won the battle, but the war.
Tashash steps in.
There is something out there in the swamps.
You see her
it
immediately
moves even now.
Pull her arm back and
tell me the threat is gone.
You see, as soon as you say there is something out here right now, she immediately pulls her arm back and you hear a kind of some sort of arcane energy reserve building up, and she immediately runs over, jumps on top of the palisade, and starts looking around. Where?
It is.
Tashash chases her up the palisade.
I do not know. I must find this out, but it is out there.
I point in the general direction of whatever was going on, of what I sensed, or, generally out into the marsh. And he says,
the beasts, that is where they came from. I must find the source, where something moves.
You see her kind of look over at you, Mela, with disgust, and she says,
I should have known you would choose to play in the mud rather than serve your city where the combat is true.
And she pushes a button on her shoulder, and you see her, like there's a hook on her. You see her just shoot up into the sky, back in the general direction from whence she came.
Mela is only mildly concerned about that.
Oh, man.
Dak raises his hand.
Yes, Thack?
Wow. Less than 24 hours, and you've already got him trained.
Is it an orc attack? Do you think it's the orcs?
Dave?
We cut down trees all the time.
Do I think? Wait, who are you asking, Matt?
I'm asking Mela.
Oh. Based on the location of the tree, do I have any knowledge about?
That would be pretty bizarre. That's like within the city. So that would be pretty bizarre if a bunch of orcs like snuck into the South Forest and cut down a tree inside the South Forest, inside the city. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Do you say anything to me?
I doubt that the orcs would have been able to make it to that tree. It is remote from their access.
Not much is remote from the access of Gromsh. But fine. Slaver.
I have not enslaved anyone.
Except for me.
I'm just holding you away from a place that you cannot go.
I'm gonna go find Aseda.
Okay. Aseda has seen all of this exchange, and says,
I am glad that your friend did not come to blows. It seemed for a moment there that it might.
Yes, but I do not think all is well now. There is danger in the city, and there is danger in the marsh. And I can only be in one place at a time. I think it's... And I cannot be here. I think it's best that you secured the camp. But if an attack comes near, you must be ready to hide the people. Where is best? I do not know. I am not from here. You must make that choice yourself. But this
Mela
camp,
walks over.
it is not worth keeping over the lives of our kin.
go ahead.
Mela walks over and says, I cannot promise you that my monastery will welcome you with open arms, but I do know that they will provide a bit of sanctuary for any group of people that are in a plight that is beyond their control.
Tashash scowls at him a little bit and turns to Aseda and says a bit low, but not so low that Mela can't hear. He says,
Perhaps it is true, but perhaps the lizard is the best guard for the lizard. But I am no warden, so what do I know?
You will know what you need to know when the time comes to need to know.
And he turns to you and says,
Where is this monastery?
It is on top of the mesa.
he said,
No wonder you are so safe. But how will we reach there? It is forbidden to ascend and is guarded by many pathways.
I reach out my hockey puck of excitement. I can't remember what it's called.
I point at the funicular. There's a funicular.
You can't see it line of sight from here. It's all the way around on the other side. It's on the south side of the city.
I gesture in
away
its
from you.
direction. There's a funicular. Let's ride that. That sounds fun.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
the thing
true.
called?
Actually, Thack, you would have seen just the edge of the funicular as you were coming into town. What was that, Mela?
What is my thingy medieval called?
The Sigil of the Jade Throg. Thog.
The sigil
Throg.
of the Jade Frog.
Yeah.
Sickle of the Jade Thrack. Thack.
Throg.
I know my name. I know things. Shut up.
If you will deign to follow us, we can take you to the top of the mesa. You and all your people.
Tashash turns to Asada.
You are the warden. whatever you choose, it is your choice. If you wish, if you wish to lead our people away from this camp, I will remain to guard them as far as the monastery before I return to the swamp to investigate this further.
It would seem
That is my word.
It would seem that there are orcs without evil elements within this city, fomenting disruption, attacking the very fabric of the city itself.
Yes. I do not think the city is safe for our people, no.
Sorry, hang on one sec.
But the plains are not safe either.
Yes.
The Black
and
Narrow
the swamp
Grove
isn't
nearby.
either.
At least on top of the mesa, we will have the protection of nature herself. Where better to go than on high? Yes, friend elf, I believe my people will avail themselves of your hospitality, at least until the worst of all this passes. Thank you.
And if you were an expert in lizard folk sociology and whatnot, you would see he is profoundly stressed by this. There's a little bit of a quiver to his frills, but this is the best choice.
Tashash's frills quiver in in sync with Aseda's.
Yeah, you guys are both incurring hefty kind of honor debt, protection debt, herd debt. You know, it's kind of hard for outsiders to understand the relational currency of lizard folk, but this is a tough pill to swallow, to rely on the safety of someone else like this.
They don't often accept this sort of
outsider help, outsider protection. Yeah.
Lizards, listen. Don't trust the elves. They're slavers. You'll go into that monastery, you might never come out again. Look at what you did to me.
Aseda looks at looks over at Thack, and then looks over at Tashash and says,
He is quite susceptible to the passions of his nature, is he not?
Yes, he is also very loud.
I noticed. He snores.
It's the power of Gromshin, one's sleep to snore loudly.
So Aseda turns to you, Mela, and says,
Please, We will be ready by true light.
And he scurries off and starts snatching people out of their sleeping arrangements, and with shocking alacrity and efficiency, they break this camp down and have it all in either back items that are carried on their back or sleds that are being pulled. And it's kind of heartbreaking. You see that there are a couple of sleds that clearly were meant for a large pack animal that's supposed to be pulling it, and you see people kind of awkwardly shouldering those harness straps instead.
I'm going to help break the camp down. Do what
Absolutely.
I can. Help that.
I go over to Mela. This journey, how long is it?
Mela, you would know that this would it's going to take you a few hours to kind of trek through the city, around and across and all that jazz. Because you're going to
go around.
You're either going to have to go all the way around the
I
city.
think we'll go all the way around.
That's what Tashash would recommend. And
Okay.
probably the lizards. The lizards probably would not want to go through the city anyway.
Sure. Okay.
So the monastery is less than a day?
Yes, it's less than a day's travel. It'll take you kind of probably until, I don't know, if you guys really hustle, you could probably make it around the city by lunchtime or something. I mean, it's only a few thousand people. So, I mean, think walking around a chunk of, downtown DC or a good chunk of Manhattan,
Wait, the city is a few thousand people, or the lizard encampment?
No, the city.
Wait. Oh, the city. Okay.
Is a city of about 7,000 people.
This camp is bigger than I thought.
No. There's less than a dozen lizard folk here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I thought there were more.
No. There's less than a dozen lizard
That's
folk
a
here.
lot of lizard folk, though, right? Usually
It is. I mean, lizard folk just don't. They keep
clump
to
up.
themselves. They live among dinosaurs. They are not run around, hang out with all the other free folk kind of people. They're cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, they don't make settlements outside of lizard territory.
Slave master.
Yes.
Yes.
On the way, my bag, my things. I left them at the bar where I was playing, from which the constabulary took me
Yes.
most unjustly. Might we stop there so I can get my stuff?
You know that it's actually only a couple of blocks inside the city on the south side. There's actually a gate fairly close because it is on the edge of the city commons area. So there's a wide open official city road that's many, that's four cart widths wide. That's kind of the official city street width. And that boulevard runs up from the gate directly to the commons, and it's right there on the commons. So, it would net you an extra 15 minutes or so to go get it.
So, Thak, I will allow you to go into the city without your guitar. Or perhaps Mr. Mudd over here could collect your things for you. He seems trustworthy.
Sure, I'm an upstanding citizen.
I want to make I want to do an insight check if I can, Josh, to see how much I trust Harcourt, whether I've sensed any untrustworthiness in him yet.
Sure.
And Harcourt is putting on his best behavior.
He's sending out that I'm a god.
You're feeling all right after the thump or whatever?
I rolled a 1 on that insight check, so that's a 3. Total of 3.
You really trust him.
Yeah, sure. Harcourt
you
seems
actually,
like a good guy.
Thak, you experience a slight tinge of shame that you, a half-orc, someone who has had to live with prejudice and racism his whole life, would just so quickly malign this is just a nice, kind, fun, loving man he's had your back.
Pretty fun.
He's been in combat with you.
Yeah, we fought together.
You feel terrible for ever judging him or doubting his character in the least.
I don't feel bad.
Not that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you, nobody ever takes my guitar from me, but, he can go into the city and get my stuff. That's fine. Hey, make sure you ask that bartender for my wages. He owes me some money from that show.
How much money?
I'm not sure you're gonna get any money.
He might. I'm persuasive.
No. We had an agreement.
How much did
25% of the take.
How much did he owe you?
Witcher, what have you done?
I don't know. Is it 25% of whatever extra he took from
nothing? Carry the nothing.
From people I brought in?
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do.
I'd guess it'd be around 10 gold.
10 gold.
My
Okay.
professional opinion, 10 gold or so.
Okay.
Better age.
I'm counting on you, Mud. You're my
great.
only hope.
All right. So you guys
come back with 20.
you guys take
and
the
One
Sorry, go ahead.
more thing for Thak. There are people pulling sledges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can I do an athletics check to see how many of the sledges I can pull by myself? I'm pretty strong.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
17 strength.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That is.
That's going to be a 19.
Okay. You see you see an extra couple of sleds that have stuff on them that they're just going to have to leave because they just can't even bring.
Oh, no, terrible idea.
And each one of them individually would have been a load. And so when you go up and you pick up both of those harnesses and you put them together and you get, people are kind of like, wow, and then you start pulling them and everybody's like, okay. So you put all of those summers of training, running and doing cross-country hunting for an entire clan with your extended family. You put all of that body conditioning work to good use, and you pull these two sleds.
I'm really strong.
With pure vigor. I'm not even going to make you make the check. That's
I did
part
make
of
the
your
check.
that's part of your racial identity. So
I got a 19 on the check.
oh yeah, sorry. Well, I wasn't even going to make you, but with a 19, I mean you pull up to the front of the pack, and you're pulling kind of twice as much as anybody else from the front. Harcourt, you grab 3 sleds. I'm just kidding.
I was going to hop on the one he's pulling.
Feel free. I mean, you're
I
not
don't
going to
even
make that big a
notice.
difference. Yeah.
He weighs like 3
Harcourt,
pounds.
do you jump on one of the
Fine.
sleds, or do you walk under your own?
I mean, which way is it going?
You guys are all about to start heading down a gentle slope, actually.
Towards the city? I mean, am I going to go get his stuff?
Well, you can either cut directly through the city and take the short way, or you can go around with everybody and then pop up the gate that is a couple of blocks away.
Yeah, man. How long do you think it's going to take if we all walk together with these heavy sledges?
It's going to take a while. With the sledges and everything, I'm going to say it's probably actually going to take you until past lunchtime, till somewhere around 2.
That works for me because honestly, I didn't sleep well last night, and I'm gonna hop on this sledge here and just try to recoup some of that sleep from the rocky ground I'm not used to.
All right, so with that, we see there's actually one of the sledges that Thak is pulling has an extra entire kit worth of, it's basically the equivalent of everything to make a yurt with some furs and stuff like that. So you actually find a lovely little fold in some of those furs and kind of lay yourself down under them. Do you keep your head out so that you can be aware and part of the gig, or do you kind of make a little hole for yourself?
Harcourt, the reason he wears a duster and hat, besides holding lots of things in it, is that when he needs to hide, he hides as a pile of crumpled laundry on the floor.
Okay.
So he gets in there,
Nice.
covers everything up, and just
You're just a little laundry golem. Nice.
ready.
Okay.
Very, very warm in there.
I think, and on that note, we are going to stick a pin in it for tonight with Thack pulling the sleds of two able-bodied humanoids, Harcourt catching a few quick Z's at Mud's ergonomic expense, Tashash pulling a load, and Atlas is right there with you. She's helping you pull a heavy one that requires two people, and the two of you together are able to take over the work of one of the herd animals, one of the herd dinosaurs that would normally be pulling it. And Mela, are you also pulling, or are you staying on foot so that you can command and tell people what to do?
Oh, I'll pull.
Okay. And Mela, you as well. So all of you are making the trudge around the city. And when we get back, when we return, we will be in front of the gate on the south side of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure playing D&D in front of you in the past or future or whatever time it is. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure playing with you guys in the present right here and now. It is our stuff is on YouTube, so if you want to catch it later, you probably already are. But Matt, anything else you want to do tonight before we close up?
That's fine.
Thack's fine. No, Matt, not Thack. Matt.
Oh, no.
Wake up, Matt.
What else? What else would there be?
No, that's cool. Remember, guys, failure, it's beautiful too. Have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Yep. Do you want to see